Hello everybody once more, and welcome back to the continuing adventures of the Spriggan Zap Wizard, the wizard Spriggan Zap, who, thus far at least, will not die. We're going to try to get him killed again today by trying to finish going through the swamp in this part 5 of the video. Thus far we have already cleared out the Orcish mines, the dungeon down to floor 14, and the entirety of the lair, which is nice. This is going to be our first attempt at a swamp branch and maybe even acquiring a rune, so we'll see how well that goes. I'm going to go ahead and visit my stash and drop a bunch of stuff before I get going, so nothing of particular note. I wanted to address a question that somebody had left in the comments. I think Code Inject left in the comments a good question. I neglected to talk about the Elven Halls, which is a sub-branch of the dungeon that you can access once you have access to the Orcish mines. It's located, the entrance is within the entrance, as it were. Totally forgot to talk about that. My bad, dropped the ball on that one. So here's the deal with the Orcish mines. With the Elven Halls. Elven Halls are a very, very challenging sub-branch of the dungeon, would be the simplest way to put it. It's very easy to die in the Elven Halls if you're not careful, and even if you are careful. And the enemies you fight in there have a lot of power. They have a lot of magical powers. There's elves that have, there's also strong melee elves. They all have decent armor. In other words, when you go there, you have to be ready for a fight, and more importantly, you really want to have some resistances to fire, cold, maybe some life protection. You know, that's set. And of course poison, but by then that's assumed. Elect not as much. I don't have any of those resistances, which means that I'm not so well equipped to take on that sub-branch right now. More importantly though, just more as a general principle, remember how when I first reached the Orcish mines I mentioned that it's a difficult sub-branch to go to? That it's that the entrance appears before you're ready to handle it? Well, you could really say the same about the Elven Halls, that when the entrance appears, once you clear out the Orcish mines, you really aren't ready to take it on at that point. You need a bit more time and power. So that's why I ignored the hall entirely, but I did forget to mention that to everybody who's watching, so my bad. Okie dokie, looks like I'm doing alright. I'm gonna hit up the hive and get a little bit more food. I don't want to be thinking about food when I attempt my run. Alrighty. That's a lot of honeycomb. I'm going to drop 4 of the honeycombs and pick up an extra royal jelly. Royal jellies have a side effect that they act as a potion of restore abilities, I believe. And knowing that, I'm not going to take a potion of restore abilities with me to the swamp. But yeah, last time we left off, we had just cleared the doorway to the swamp, so now we're ready to tackle this sucker. Masteries. I'm gonna drop poison magic at this point. It's at level 12, and that's solid enough. I would drop dodging because it's so high level, but I have a +4 aptitude. I might as well keep growing it. And stealth, on the one hand, it'd be nice to grow that skill. On the other hand, to what point and purpose? All of my spells make noise and attract attention anyway, and level 5 is decent. I might throw some experience into it anyway later. What's my hunger status? Pretty much everything I have is hungerless. That's nice. What else? I guess I'm going to start memorizing, increasing my air magic, because eventually I do intend to cast some of the higher level cloud spells, and they include air. Oh, and translocations would be nice too, because I do want to be able to teleport at will. Do I have summoned butterflies? No, that must be a different run I'm doing. Alrighty. Actually, quick check. Okay, so I am capable of getting summoned butterflies if I go to look for it. Let us clear out this floor of the dungeon. Now, if I were being a little bit more cautious, I wouldn't auto-explore this floor, because it's always possible that I walk myself too far away from a staircase. Actually, let me... where'd the alligator go? Let me take a moment to say a little bit about how the swamp is laid out. It is a 5-floored dungeon that has... 5-floor dungeon that, as you can see, has a large amount of water, which both doesn't restrict movement so much because there's usually a land path to wherever you need to go. It's not like there are islands, but it does slow you down, etc. It is home to a bunch of swamp-oriented creatures, and there are multiple kinds of swamp that can potentially spawn, each containing their own set. I would say the most notable creatures that you're going to run to in the swamp would include the swamp dragon or drake, which spits clouds of basically noxious gas. Think of it like casting a fake cloud. That's what it does. The swamp dragon is capable of casting a fake cloud. What you just saw me fight there, the insubstantial wisps, are, in my opinion, one of the most irritating, not most dangerous, but most irritating enemies in the swamp. Insubstantial wisps are kind of like imps. They come in, except that they come in groups, and they require a large amount of power to actually get rid of. They have very high evasion, and they have decent regeneration, so you can't just use a low-level spell. You kind of really want to one-hit shot them with a higher-level spell. But as you can see, it takes forever to actually land a killing blow. The problem about insubstantial wisps is because they're so bloody fast, they can catch you usually, and that isn't good. This is a bad situation for me. I don't... There we go. Where is it? I don't even see it. I swear to God, sometimes it feels like it just appears from the smoke. Because it's blinking. One of the best zombies or skeletons you can have is a Hydra skeleton or zombie, because it gets like 7 melee attacks. So it's super powerful. Ooh, yay, a new rod. Or wand. This is the Staff of Cold. I may actually make use of that at some other point. Let's go ahead and set up a mini stash right here with my other stuff. I don't currently use any real cold spells that would require that for boosting, so I'm not going to carry it with me, but... So when it gives a message there's a strange disturbance nearby, what it means is there's a whirlpool that will show up as a whirlpool in the water, and there's an enemy that's, you can think of it as being submerged at that square. If you walk into melee range of that enemy, it will usually become visible. Problem is, if that enemy is something like an alligator, you really don't want to be in melee range of it. When I'm being cautious, I'll open with a mephitic cloud on the spot that I see the disturbance at, so that I get an initial likelihood of confusing the creature. When I'm not being crazy, actually careful, I risk dying. Ooh, a ghost. Warple warp. Moron. Yeah, at this point my old ghosts are really not that terrifying. I don't have any of them that I know of, at least, that have seriously high level spells that they can use against me. That there is a Swamp Drake. If you don't have resistance to poison, it's terrifying. If you do have resistance to poison, it's pretty much harmless because you can beat it up with your spells. Of course, you know, this is all assuming you have high mana. When you have low mana, everything is terrifying. You may also notice that I'm not resurrecting nearly as many skeletons. Reason for that is, firstly, when a body lands inside the water, it's very hard for me to tell where it is. Like, often there is no body left and I can't tell. Secondly, not everything that is dying here has a skeleton. Like a jellyfish, for example, or those slugs and leeches. Third, and most importantly... Ouch, that hurts. Zot traps are like among the most dangerous traps in the game. You can get mutated by them, banished into the abyss, horrible shit can happen. Anyway. But really, at this point, as I've said before and I'll say again, I have a very good set of spells and abilities. If I actually manage to hit a couple times in a row, there's very little in the game that's going to survive my high-level spells. So I have to make sure now to be cautious, not get cocky, and not overextend. There's a different necromantic spell called Animate Dead. Actually, now that I think about it, how much gold do I have from clearing the Orcish Mines? I didn't find anything that I liked in the Orcish Mines to spend my money on, and I have a lot of money now. So I'm going to see if Animate Dead is available in any of the spellbooks that I've crossed thus far. And I'm actually going to take the time to go get it, because skeletons are not as effective as zombies, and I want the meat shields, especially if I'm going to be dealing with the swamp. Also, at this point in the game, look how many different books I've already located. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 books, not counting the ones that are in shops. So at this point, there's a good chance I'm not going to be getting a whole lot more books. So let's examine the Book of Unlife. Has Animate Dead. It also has Twisted Resurrection, which is a spell that I enjoy, though it's not a very good spell long term. But it's just such a cool spell function-wise that I want to play around with it. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and bust some money. It's always a hard decision for me to spend money, but it's the right move. Or if it's not the right move, I don't really care. Spellcasting, excellent. Hungerless, good. We're going to swap that with my D-spell, which is what I've been spamming right now for Animate Dead. And, let's return to my stash. This auto-travel has made the game so much more fun for me. I remember before I knew how to use that, I would have to actually manually walk, and it wasn't that it was any harder. I mean, it's just as hard as those, but it gets dull, and you find yourself making stupid mistakes because you're frustrated with how much you're walking. What else can I leave behind? I actually really don't need the Wand of Fireball because I can cast Fireball, but I'm holding on to it on the off chance that I run out of mana and desperately need to lob a gigantic explosive blast. When I say it out loud, it doesn't sound so much like an off chance, now does it? Beautiful stack of books. I no longer have any spell levels available. What I'm going to do is unlearn one of the spells, the Animate Skeleton spell, because now that I have Animate Dead, it's completely superfluous. That gave me back one spell level. Anything else I want to forget? Oh yeah, remember how I was considering losing Abjuration? But then it turned out that that spell saved my life. Somebody posted that in the comments. I hadn't thought about it, but it's actually very true. I was so back and forth on whether or not it was even worth including, so definitely glad I chose the way I did with that one. No, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to unmemorize Dig. If I recall correctly, I have 2 books of Geomancy. No, I only have the one in the hive. Forget it. If I go back there, eventually I'll do that. Because I don't need the spell levels now. But I no longer need the dig spell for, I mean, the critical things that I needed it for, I no longer need it for, so, yeah. Okay, so, as I was saying, layout of the swamp, there's a few special enemy types, a few common enemy types. Pretty much everything in here can either walk on, I mean, there's very few things in here that can't walk on deep water or fly over it or something. When you enter the swamp, be sure you have poison resistance, because the swamp dragons can poison you to death, confuse you with the mephitic cloud, and end you pretty hard. You also want to be sure that you have either that or some means of at least avoiding being confused. Okay, I am too far away from the staircase now. So I'm gonna drop my new wand of fire, or my old wand of fireball, which I no longer need, and my old wand of cold, because I now have a new wand of each. And then I'm gonna go back upstairs. And I say I'm too far away from the staircase for the same reason that you're used to me being so panicky about. If I can't retreat, I can't be guaranteed a full bank of mana. And if I come across a scary monster, that might be exactly what I need. Definitely do not need a wand of invisibility anytime soon, so I'm going to drop that upstairs. Back in my new mini stash. I am like on the border of having too much weight, but leave the scroll of summoning behind as well, come to think of it. A scroll of summoning gives you an abomination to work with, but the problem with abominations is that they're mindless, so they're just as likely to drown in the swamp. So yeah, swamp is 5 floors deep. The 5th floor has some of the stronger uniques in it, and there we go. See, that's what it looks like when you animate the dead. Instead of a skeleton, which has less health, you get the full zombie, which is, you know, stronger. A new book of geomancy, but it does not have the dig spell. Well, we're just gonna leave this book here for now. I'll take it upstairs. Be thorough. There's no harm in being systematic, and there is harm in being too frivolous with your life. See, even though he was in deep water that I couldn't stand on, it didn't matter because Animate Dead works on all targets that you can see, so it's got much better range. I actually already have this book. Interesting. That looks like a nice pair of gloves, but for some reason it says I can't wear gloves. Oh right, I'm playing the Spriggan, so don't know what it has. I've never met Donald before. Let's see what he's all about. Trying to find the orb. Likes water. Can't tell anything else about him. I'd look him up in the wiki right now, actually, would probably be the right move, but I have a plan. Let's see if he's vulnerable to Mephitic Cloud. He actually is standing in the deep water, which means he can't drown. Now, I can get back to the staircase, and I'm not close enough right now that I should take him on. I'm gonna keep running. If he can't catch me, he can't kill me. And he just killed my minion by the looks of it. Nope, he didn't. Good. Alrighty, now I can run away if I need to. So now I'm just going to try and kill him with my top level spells. He might be vulnerable to something weaker, but you never take chances, so I'm going to use Poison Arrow. That was 4 casts of Poison Arrow. Apparently he blocked them all, or I missed. He's wearing Dwarven plate mail and shiny shield, so he's very, very strong. I'm just going to go upstairs and not fight him. Apparently he still managed to get a shot off, so I'm really glad I was actually standing on the stairs and he didn't chase me up. It's nice to be able to summon armies. And recall, I'm not playing a summoner. I don't use my armies of the undead to fight for me. I use them as meat shields and to help me escape and survive better. That is all. Detect curse, drop a book of summonings. Wait, I'm still overweight? Jesus, man. I think it's the amount of food that's making me overweight so easily. Again, fighting alligators off of water, no problem. Fighting them on white water, very, very bad idea. Anyway, I'm not sure where Donald is. He was last seen here. So I'm going to move in that direction so that the staircase is easily in my reach if he should show up again. Because that guy is scary. He blocked Poison Arrow repeatedly. The thing is, I really want to kill Donald, because if he's hanging around, this whole floor is a whole lot less safe for me. I don't see where that swamp worm is. Oh, it left my view. And unlike when I first fought him, I now have a sizable army. So, let's head in the direction he was last seen. Okay, if I need to escape, I'm gonna head towards the down staircase behind me, I suppose, so let's just keep moving. He is not here. Ooh, a swamp dragon, fun. I'm just using Isakundrun's blast and trusting to my power to be able to deal with him. If he had left a corpse, that would have been a very powerful ally. But he didn't leave a corpse. Hitting my enemies with magic dart once usually makes them come after me, which is really nice because otherwise, you know, the range on that thing is excellent. And this way they won't just escape from me. Alright, spells are coming along nicely. My translocations are going up. If it gets high enough, I should be able to memorize teleport, and that's my ultimate goal with studying translocations as a school. Okay, this floor is starting to look more and more clear, so I'm not as worried about fighting Donald now because I know that I have the majority of the floor cleared. And I have enough of an army that even if I get into a scrape, I can summon my allies to my side. And that'll help me out. There he is. This is a very bad situation to fight him from, though, because I literally can't retreat here. So I'm just gonna go... I'm just gonna back away. There we go. Now the staircase is on the staircase is behind me where I want it to be. Donald has seen me. Rather than let him get me, I'm going to summon all of my allies to my side. But apparently many of them aren't listening or have died. Still have loads of mana. I'm gonna blink. In all probability that will get me away from him. And continue to pelt him with poison arrow. And blink. This guy is very resilient. It's very irritating. Like, I'm spamming my top spell and he's just not going down. Well, I'm out of mana now. That's a bad place for me. I'm not gonna risk fighting him because last time he knocked me to half health in one shot. I'm just gonna do this and get away. He's poisoned, which means by the time I come down, he's at full health again? I don't know how I'm gonna beat this guy. One thing I might do is use Orb of Destruction. Okay, I'm starting to worry that I can't actually beat Donald. Been spamming Poison Arrow, it hasn't killed him. I'm not willing to use... I mean, is he resist? He must be resistant to poison. It doesn't mean he won't take any damage, but... And you saw that I managed to hit him with it a couple times, but... How will I kill this guy? He's resistant to hostile enchantments, which means I shouldn't attempt to use my wand to confuse him. And he's already successfully cleared out many of my minions on that floor. There he is again. Okay, what's the new plan? To kill him, I'm gonna try with fire this time and see if that's any more effective than my previous attempt. Because really, I don't have any serious alternative. I have the spells I have, and that's it. Thank God. That was very terrifying. Now I have a Donald zombie. So, recovering my mana, I'm going to finish clearing this floor. Now that I've gotten rid of Donald, there's really probably nothing that's scary left. And they also attacked... Notice how I kept retreating until until I was no longer on water to fight the crocodile. Doesn't matter where I'm standing as long as the crocodile isn't in water. But that should clear this floor. 2 down, 3 to go. Okay, so you may have seen these slimes before, and I don't know how much you guys have dealt with them. Slimes, when they when they desire to walk onto the same square, have a non-zero chance of merging into a super slime. When they do that, they become a whole lot harder to kill. Okay, I'm getting flanked pretty badly here. I can easily kill any one of these guys, but if I retreat in any direction, I'm going to be flanked by the other. So instead of risking my life, I'm just going to go upstairs and fight the slime upstairs. Oh yeah, the other irritating thing about slimes is they don't leave corpses, so, you know, they can cost you for food if you're most races. And when they are weakening, they'll split in half and retreat in alternate directions and block your shots from one another, so that they're very hard to pin down and actually get rid of. All in all, not my favorite enemy in the game to deal with. Not by far. But yeah, if I had to stay with the big enemies that you'll find in the lower levels at least of the swamp are, or sorry, in the higher levels, you know, levels floor 1 through 4, you're going to deal with these vampire mosquitoes, insubstantial wisps, the swamp dragons and drakes, the occasional interesting unique. Okay, hang on guys, I don't know what Mara is or what her deal is. Resistant to fire and poison, so there goes my major spell, Poison Arrow, and my Fireball. Resistant to hostile enchantment, so I can't just confuse. Tall, powerful, Lord of Illusions, is capable of creating intricately detailed of minds, and is a hostile enchantress herself. I'm gonna go ahead and stop playing and look at the wiki to try and figure out what Mara's deal is, because in my experience, fighting an unknown unique blindly is a good way to get yourself killed. Bolt of Fire, Pain, Teleport Self, and other spells. Can create clones of himself and player ghosts. I'm hoping you're all reading along as I read this and just try to prepare myself. The logic they're using is to really go full out for broke and attack. She has this illusion spell which can clone any monster, including myself, which is kind of terrifying. She also can make 3 clones of herself, but if I have abjuration, so I can get rid of that. Okay, back to the game. I can retreat to the staircase in a pinch, so I'm not terrified of fighting her right now. But I would rather go up than downstairs. And I can't comfortably say that I can end up back there before she follows me. She's resistant to poison, so Mephitic Cloud is out. What other options do I have? I shouldn't waste my time with fire, I already know that won't work. I can use Poison Arrow because that hurts no matter what your resistance to poison is, and I can use Ixecundarun's Blast just to try and deal my maximum damage output. But I'm worried that I could wind up in a bad situation quickly, so what I'm going to do is try and maneuver so that I can blink with the scroll of blinking all the way to the staircase in a pinch. That will be my plan. Mara is either not following me or is too slow to keep up. Okay, it's safe to go down the stairs, so I'll fight her here. That was 5 poison arrows, and she's almost dead. She cloned, so I'm going to use Abjure. She seems a lot less terrifying, but I was non-stop using my top level spell, which might be why she seems so much less terrifying. Anywho, on the plus side, oh, wouldn't you know it, she was summoning zombies the whole time. On the plus side, she left behind a ruined robe, which I'm gambling is better than what I'm wearing right now. Nope, mine's better. So I will drop hers. She was resistant to cold, fire, and poison. It's a good thing I didn't fight her head to head with my Wand of Cold, which is what I was considering doing. Okay, recovering. I now have killed 2 uniques, which is great, in the swamp. I'm gonna get Necromancy up a level or 3 because I keep miscasting Animate Dead and it bothers me. Translocation School is up to 6. I don't want to put any more points in. I'm just gonna start diversifying a bit more, get a bit more stealth. Next time I get seen by Mara, I don't want to be forced to fight her. Damn wispy wisps. This is the problem with the wisps. They've drained my mana, now I have to retreat. Plus side, nothing else attacked me while that happened, so I could retreat comfortably. Hydra zombies are so cool. There's an alligator hiding somewhere nearby. It's a scary thought. Okie dokie. Never a good idea to stay in range of a statue. I'm gonna get a confuse off on that guy, and then just keep moving in any other direction. So at this point I'm being a lot more careful than normal, because this is, at this point, as I mentioned before, one of my best runs, and I don't want to screw that up. And inevitably when you die in this game, you're either dying very early on because you got screwed over, or, I mean, it's not like, I've had one time where I was on the 9th, where I walked down to the 9th floor and just instantly got killed, but for the most part when you die, it's because you did something stupid. Ooh, a swarm of vampires. Except they're mosquitoes. Thank God they're as dumb as mosquitoes and they're coming one at a time. So mosquitoes' deal is they don't leave useful corpses. Like, the corpses aren't resurrectable, aren't edible, they aren't anythingable. And beyond that, they the corpses that they leave are also what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, not about the corpses. I was very distracted right there. But rather, they also can make you sick, and they're very fast-moving. So I generally like to use high-level abilities just to make sure that they don't have enough time to do any real damage to me. Backing off now. I'm out of mana. I don't want to fight a pitched battle. And so far, this has still been a very successful run through the swamp. So far we fought a couple nasty battles, particularly against Mara and Donald. Came out ahead. I've seen these wonderful swords, demon swords and great swords, but, you know, I'm a mage, so it's not impressed me. Just give me a nice staff any day. The heck is that? Sorry, I've never seen a vapor. Well, let's see how it reacts to my standard spells. Okay, that was with magic dart, so I'm able to do a lot of damage to it. Not the most scary thing I've ever seen in my life. Just a new enemy. I'm guessing that some of these enemies must have been added between versions 0.8 and 0.9 because I've beaten the swamp like a couple times and I've never even seen them. Alrighty, and that just about clears it. Now, quite like other branches of the dungeon, like take the Orcish Shrines or the not Elven Halls, I don't know anything about that, but take the Orcish Mines for example. The last floor of the Orcish Mines is notably harder than the floors above it. Similarly, the last floor of the swamps, floor 5, is much harder than the floors above it. Same is true for the snake pits. So, right now it's very easy to get lulled into a false sense of security by just how easy a time I've been having of the last few floors. I mean, yeah, I fought a couple hard enemies here and there, but for the most part, a little bit of caution, and that's really all it's taken. But once I go one floor lower, all bets are off, and the most dangerous enemies can spawn. In particular, I fear a certain enemy named Memnus, whom I fought once before, and if I never fight again, it will still be too soon. So once I clear this floor, I'm gonna have to be extra on guard for what comes next. Alrighty, I feel happy with the way my skill leveling is going right now, actually. I'm about to gain more dodging and stealth. I don't know how high I need translocations, so I'm going to let it go one more level and then I'm going to cut it until such time as I'm back at my spellbooks. Necromancy, on the other hand, yeah, I'll let that one grow one level too, and then I'll stop it. Okay, it's off. Animate Dead is now hungerless with excellent cast, so good. It was already hungerless actually, but now it has excellent casting as well. Damn swamp things. They forced me to fight at melee range by submerging. The good news is I can handle like a couple hits from a swamp worm, so I'm not too worried. The leech, on the other hand, I'm not sure how powerful it is. Thus far, I've always been able to kill it comfortably from distance. This time, it's not giving me that option, so I'm just gonna run away. If it wants to fight, it can fight while I burn the forest down. How is this firing at my six-headed Hydra zombie? Sure. It doesn't hit him at all. Now notice that blew up, burned down the trees, which was the effect I was going for, so now he can come out and... Oh, whoa, there's something here. I'm just going to tell all of my army to swarm him, because I don't want to fight the leech. There you go. But yeah, at this point the run is going to be on autopilot until I go down another floor. Promised I'd cut that. Okay. The Hungry Ghost is an interesting enemy. It doesn't actually deal damage, it deals hunger. That is to say, it basically eats at your satiation directly. Note that my evade is up to 31 right now, which is part of the reason why I'm able to survive at melee range at all, even though I have, like, no armor. Also, this is not the normal range for Fireball. This is +1 range thanks to the benefit of Behemoth, who gives you +1 range to your casting. And the reason I'm spamming Fireball is because if I weaken them all, when they merge together, the combinational monster will be less terrifying to deal with. Can't aim a shot around all the smoke or steam. I'll walk into the cloud of steam, because if that guy escapes, as it looks like he's about to, nope, got him. If he had escaped, I'd have to do it all over again. So, it's good to actually get rid of him. Let's eat some of this stray food I seem to have picked up. The reason I prioritize bread over, and everything really, over royal jellies is twofold. Firstly, the royal jellies has that mild curative effect that I mentioned before. So, you know, there's no point eating it when you don't need that curative effect. Secondly, they give you as much nutrition as, say, a bread ration, but they weigh much, much less. I mentioned in a previous part to the same run that bread rations are abnormally heavy. Like they're like 30 units of mass or something like that. And as you can see, I constantly am having weight issues, so eating my heaviest food first makes sense. So bread rations are kind of my priority to eat, and royal jellies are my lowest tier. What just got me? Oh, there's a swamp worm behind me. So in the init file of Dungeon Crawl, there's a lot of hidden options you can set to change the way the interface works. I have made a modification that, one, as you can tell, I downloaded off of another YouTube video, which was actually really helpful, which has added the sound effects. I enjoy having sound effects while I'm playing. The other modification, this one was just like a couple lines of text, changes my health bar so that it goes yellow faster and into the red faster. And I like that because mentally, you know, I'm at least prone to being like, oh, you know, I still have halfway to go, I'm not in the red yet. When in reality, you should be more cautious. So my bar turns yellow and red faster. Okay, that's another level up. Level 17. Stealth. Abilities are all being maxed correctly. Have a decent sized army of zombies here, which is, I mean, it's not huge, but it'll do. It's enough that it obstructs my shots, that's something. And notice how Animate Dead doesn't require a skeleton, it requires the ability to reanimate, so I'm able to reanimate certain things that before I wasn't able to make any use of the corpses. Okie dokie. Floor 4 is complete. Let's... Where am I looking for? Do that. Have a decent sized army, and I am ready to plunge into the 5th floor and the final floor of the swamp and attempt to take the next rune of Zot. However, it's been about 1 hour of this run, and I should probably cut the run at this point. It's a shame I didn't finish the swamp, but at least I didn't die, which was kind of awesome. The next floor is the one where I'm really going to have a chance at dying again. Let's just go ahead and peek to see what's waiting for me downstairs. Nothing. Yay! Alrighty, so, next part we will continue this run through the swamp. But for now, I'm gonna have to call it, so it was great to make this part for you guys, and I hope to be able to continue this run later. Zap will die eventually, and when he does, we'll be ready for him. Is that a skeleton? Give me a skeletal frog. Okay. Peace out. Bye.